It is April 21st to be exact. And I'm so excited that we have Women Empowerment Wednesday still continuing to grow. You're still joining. If you're here today, you're joining the movement. I am excited because it has now the fourth month. And I know you should be right now finished up your taxes. If you haven't, you filed your extension, you need to make sure you reach out to a CPA. I had to say that. Also, look at your division of corporations, making sure that you have turned in your documents, your annual report, and different things like that. I wanted to make sure I say that first because oftentimes when you have a business, for my business women, you do not take care of your business. So let's make sure we take care of our business. Second, it's April, so we're getting ready to go into spring. So I'm so excited about this particular season and this particular month because we brought someone to talk to you about health and fashion. We have an entrepreneur that's joining us who heard from God, like a lot of them, and stepped out on faith. And I want you to know that we also have someone who is from the construction industry, who is in HR. But she also is one of my OBJ, Orlando Business Journal, it's Diversity in Business Award honorees. So I'm very excited what God is doing for Women Empowerment Wednesday and our team and growing this movement. So it's not just a moment, it's a movement, and you're still here with us. So let's continue today. I think you're going to be so impressed with the speakers we have. We really look at what do you need to be holistic in either entrepreneurship or if you work in a corporation in supply diversity or in leadership. We want to empower you in whatever capacity. So stay tuned. We're going to go to our first commercial break, which is Duke Energy. Thank you to Duke Energy and our team at Duke Energy for your sponsorship, continued support, and we'll be right back.
At Duke Energy, it is their privilege, policy, and practice to proactively seek and build relationships with diverse suppliers. Through supply diversity, they build relationships with diverse businesses capable of providing commodities and services at competitive prices. Those relationships also help to strengthen economic and improve business opportunities for everyone. This is done by their three-point approach. Educate customers and employees, assist customers, and improve performance. Thank you to Duke Energy for supporting Women Empowerment Wednesday.
Welcome back. So thank you again for Duke Energy being our title sponsor. I love Duke Energy and the team. Tanja Graham, you're amazing. And we could not have done this movement without you. So thank you. So we're with our first guest. And my first guest today is actually also now a part of a sisterhood. We both were recognized by the Orlando Business Journal as a diversity in business honoree this year. And so I'm really excited to share this platform with you and have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
It was like, you apply and then you're not sure what's going to happen. And then when you see the honorees, you're like, wow, it's some powerful people doing some amazing things in diversity. Mm-hmm. And so she reached out to me, and I love the fact that you had a tenacity to say, you know what, let's connect. And I'm sure you connected with all the other honorees, but understanding that there's more work to be done. If we're working together, we can make the mission go further.
100%.
So thank you so much. Okay, so Miss Mila Smith, welcome for being here today. We're going to get right into these questions, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, so the first question is, tell us how you got here. Like one of the most powerful and respected women in construction and supply diversity. How did you get here?
It was sort of by happenstance. So I fell into the human resources field in undergrad, right?
Yeah, okay.
My on-campus job led me down my career path.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that it was going to be my thing.
Okay. And tell me what school you went to.
I went to the University of Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm a Gator grad.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. And so that's how I got on the career path for human resources. But I truly landed in construction by way of an individual that knew me from a former life, just telling me there's an opportunity that hasn't even gone live yet.
Wow.
And you'd be perfect for it. Send me your resume. And I fought it for about 6 to 8 months.
We always
I kept saying I'm not interested. And I'm like, I'm fine where I am. I'm not doing this. Leave me alone. And he wouldn't let up.
Yeah.
And it's because I really believe nothing happens by happenstance, right?
Yeah.
I do believe it was all ordained. God literally landed me in the seat that ended up ascending to executive leadership.
Wow.
I had to work hard.
Of course.
Right? And probably harder than most because it was not just a male-dominated industry. It was a white male-dominated industry.
It still is.
That had a young black female on the rise. So I had to prove myself quite a bit.
Yeah, you do.
And once I earned my stripes and demonstrated that my capability was real, I got my seat at the table. So it's been an awesome ride. 15 years and counting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so when you went to college, and you were thinking about a major, what were you told, or what were you groomed, or what did you think you should major in?
Based on conversations with my mother, I assumed I should be trying to be an attorney.
Yes.
Because I always needed logic and concept and talk me through that, but why? And
But
she's
why?
like, listen,
Get paid for that.
go do that somewhere else, not in here. So I really did believe that I was on the pathway to becoming an attorney, and I pivoted very quickly after a 3-year stint working on campus in this HR capacity. It started with administrative activities and very quickly became, since you're working these hours, there's more to be done.
Right.
We need to learn how to do leave of absences. We've got people going out on leaves. We have to hire. Can you post? Once you've posted, we've got a ton of resumes. Can you review them? And I started getting all of this on-the-job experience in real time.
Internship is so important, and on-campus roles are so important.
It was insane,
Yeah.
and it was just not the plan. So I realized that I had no interest in litigating, and so I completely pivoted off of that path. And I went on to get my master's in human resource management to bolster the on-the-job experience I got.
Right.
And the rest is history.
So there's something in that message, because we have all demographics watching this show, right? So we do have young collegiate females, and we actually have males watching this show too. But because they want to stand their wives and their employees and their daughters, and so but to the young lady that's in college or getting ready to go to college, it's okay if you think you're going to college for one thing and to pivot to do something else. I don't know too many people that didn't pivot in college, to be honest. Even I pivot a little bit. So, and success is still going to wait for you at the end of the road. Whichever direction God wants you to go, success is going to meet you there.
100%. What's for you is for you.
Yes, for you.
But don't fight it.
You're going to get tired. Because if it's for you, you're just going to be fighting just to fight. So just give up the fight and just go yield yourself to the wheel, okay? Yield to the wheel.
Give in.
Okay, so you were nominated, we mentioned before, by OBJ as diversity in business.
Yes.
What were some of the keys to your success, and what was the reason why they chose you?
Well, it was a joint win.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it was for
because
your company,
my
yes.
co-lead, right? We have been driving all things diversity, equity, and inclusion into our business in a way that we've never really experienced it before over the course of the last year in particular.
I've been watching,
So about 3.5 years ago, the company really recommitted to being focused on diversity being a business imperative. And at the time, we started with women in construction because that in and of itself is few and far between. So we placed the emphasis there first. And with all that happened with George Floyd and all of us being trapped in COVID, it just became very apparent that it needed an authentic voice to lead because people honestly didn't know what to say and what to do, or should I, and how do I approach.
But they felt like, I want to do something.
And they just didn't know what.
They just didn't know what to do. A lot of corporations and government entities felt like, okay, I got to do something.
Yeah, but you don't want to do something that's disingenuous either, right?
Or
so I think we were the gut check. That was like, did you ask your people if they're okay? It's okay to ask them, are they doing all right?
Don't just throw money at me, okay?
And so once we open that door for people to understand it is appropriate and come from a place of humility, we get that you may stumble a little bit, but better to ask than void. Don't ignore it. And so together we were able to help charter sort of a path that has taken down quite a bit of activity. We have established multiple employee resource groups for our Black employees. We have the Noble team, which I'm very proud of. The Noble is an acronym for Network of Black Leaders and Executives. And we have banded together as a nation. We have sister chapters in each of our divisions. We have objectives that we're trying to embed all kinds of really awesome leadership opportunities for the underrepresented subset of our teams. So Noble is one of several employee resource groups that we've been able to help start up.
I love it.
It's the neatest thing to see.
I love that you're growing it to a distant state here in Central Florida.
It's big. It's big. It's across the nation. We've got them in Portland and Seattle and in San Diego. You name it, we're there. And so we have the women's group, we have the Black network, we have a Hispanic network that's coming forward, we have a Building Pride network where our LGBTQ plus in the community plus their allies can connect.
Right.
It's just been a really big deal. And for me, 15 years at this company, I think part of the win is recognizing that people that have joined the organization in the last 2 years think we've always been woke. They don't know that this is us. Let's woke on it. We are woke in a way that beyond just the HR function has been a really awesome strategy to watch get deployed. So it's been really neat to be a part of it, and to be honored by the OBJ and be in such good company is just,
thank you.
It's a joy.
It is. I think there's something too in what you said. You've been with the same company for 15 years because that's rare.
Yes.
It's very rare. And it's rare, but it speaks to, one, the relationship that you have with that company. You felt valued. And if you didn't feel valued at a time, they worked it out, right?
For sure.
So it's important that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Everyone has a role in entrepreneurship and supply diversity. So in your role and where you are just as vital as that woman-owned construction company because you need each other. You're advocating internally for her to get a contract, making sure she's successful.
For sure.
And then she's working to make sure that she's doing the job she says she's going to do at the price she says she's going to do it on time.
Get that time right.
Safety.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think that it's important that for those that are thinking, well, I'm not sure if I want to be an entrepreneur, you are just as valuable working for a corporation that you can make change in that organization.
Absolutely.
And I love that.
And two, some of the things that we're doing is paying attention to where we are purchasing things like corporate swag.
Yeah.
If we're buying collateral things for college fairs and the like, why can't we find a Black-owned, minority-owned, female-owned business and support them in a way that we don't have to run through a major brand? Why not? And we've been very disciplined about starting to create what that pipeline looks like so that they're almost getting first dibs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I mean, because we know a lot of talent comes out of HBCUs and other schools that have programs for minorities and for women. We know that.
Yes.
Right? So so for that, it's good that you're not only looking at just recruiting an HBCU student, but then what does that look like going through the company and like you said, the pipeline.
For sure.
Right? A pipeline to leadership. The pipeline to a respected voice in a company that contributes to the growth of the business.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll go to the next question. You are everywhere and involved in so many things. How do you do it? Like, for real, for real.
It really takes a village. Not alone.
Say it one more time.
Not
it takes
alone.
a village.
You can't do it by yourself. You
Yeah.
have to surround yourself with people who are trustworthy, your truth tellers.
Yes.
If you don't have one, get one. It is incredibly important to have others who are ambitious, and that whole iron sharpen iron concept is very real. So for me, it feels like I'm all over the place. Apparently, it's evident publicly that I'm all over the place, but it is very intentional, the things that I allow myself to get engaged in. And because I have such an incredible team, support staff, we get a chance to elevate each other and amplify each other's voices in all kinds of opportunities. So it's pretty exciting.
I love that.
Self-care is key. I shamelessly will do nothing on a weekend, and it's deliberate because I just know that my tank is starting to run on empty, so I have to recharge. And once I re-energize, I'm back at it. I don't know how to twiddle my thumbs very well. So.
But that's good that you recognize that it's okay not to do anything.
Yeah.
And especially on your weekends, not packing yourself with things and making yourself feel guilty, be obligated to other things and other people. You have to be obligated to yourself first.
Correct.
It's called self-esteem. It's
Yes.
called. It's like everything that is all has self in front of it.
I can't be anything to anybody if I haven't taken care of me first. So I've given myself the permission to do nothing.
Give yourself permission.
Every once in a while.
But you know what? You get to a point where you have to learn who you are before you can be anything to anyone else. And once you learn who you are, then you know how to take care of that person, love that person, respect that person, protect that person. And if it means vegging on the weekends, get your favorite jammies and watch your movie, or just not watch a movie and veg. Because like you said, your tank will run empty, and that's when we see people having heart attacks, having nervous breakdowns, checking out, making major mistakes.
Correct.
on, and so, some things we can recover from, but some major mistakes you can't, and it could cost a company going out of business because you were just so busy and you weren't checking dotting your I's and crossing your T's because you're just so busy.
Yeah, quality control. Make sure that
Come
you
on.
are clear.
Right.
And your work product is too.
Yeah, right. And the village, it could be a family. The village could be your team at your job. Your village could be, if you're in a sorority or fraternity, your village could be your church. Your village could be whatever you deem it is.
Yes. It's a combination.
It's a combination. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my village is everything and everyone, but I'm very particular about who I bring in.
Yep.
I vet them very well.
Yes.
Because I know where God is taking the place that God has taken me. Only a few can be with me, but we're all going together. Like you said, we're climbing together, right? But I need to make sure that as we're climbing, the last thing I'm doing is I'm looking over my shoulder to make sure you're still with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because it serves no one well if there's somebody trying to climb over you.
Yeah.
Or if there's somebody trying to drill holes in your boat.
Yes.
And they
you
exist.
just paddling. You like, why am I sinking? Why am I sinking?
They
It's like,
exist.
you plug a hole and you're like, okay. And then you finally got another hole and you're like, wow.
Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from? And
Yeah.
why do I feel like I'm always sinking in my boat if I only have my trusted squad?
That's it.
I like that.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. So what are some of the projects that your company is working on? And how are you looking for subcontractors? So we're talking going back into the construction arena.
Sure.
So what are some things that you're working on? And are you looking for subcontractors? For the women that are watching, they may have a janitorial business, a painting business, any type of construction related marketing, branding business. What are you looking for?
So,
And how can they contact you?
sure. So we're very fortunate to have continued working as an essential function through COVID.
Yes.
Right? So construction has never really stopped. Our offices have never formally closed, even though we did get flex on working from home. And as it relates to the type of projects that we have live right now, I mean, in Orlando in particular, we are finishing up a multifamily project right here in downtown that's already open for rent. We are working on an expansion project for the Amway over for the Magic. We have work with Disney. We do attractions and rides. We do hospitality. I mean, our portfolio is really diverse, and that's part of what keeps us sustainable, even when the market is doing what it does. Because sometimes it'll ebb and flow. You have to expect that there are going to be peaks and valleys. And so we are always in the market for subcontractors to reach out to us. We have a pre-construction department. I think you guys are going to be putting my contact information, which is mighty fine. I will redirect everything to the correct department for consideration to become a potential vendor for us on any number of jobs. So it just depends on what your capabilities are, what the business needs, and we'll see how we can pair those things up and get some opportunities.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you feel subcontractors, and this is kind of going off the cuff just a little bit as far as questions, but what are some of the things that, as far as your company and understanding your company's culture?
Sure.
What are some things that subcontractors need to know about doing business with your company? So for instance,
don't
Disney.
overpromise and underdeliver.
Come on.
Just
do what you say you're going to do.
Be really, really deliberate about selling what is realistic. Right? Because we're the accountability partner, and so we're going to make sure that you deliver on the promise that you make. So don't overpromise, for sure, is the key. Our culture is such that we're a people first organization, and we try really hard to make sure that we're not putting anybody in a situation where we're going to be working for any clients that are going to be particularly difficult, that it's going to be taxing for us to all get across the finish line.
Right.
Our goal is for us to together cross the finish line and be
close out.
Yes, and it not have been so exhaustive that you don't want to partner again. Our goal is repeat business. We want to get your name out there just like our own so that we can continue to have healthy relationships and be the go-to, the premier contractor that select people will come to the point where we've had jobs given to us that we didn't have to bid.
Wow.
So once those relationships are established and they're firm, it serves everyone well if we all did what we said we were going to do. So follow through is key.
Yeah. The most important thing too, you said, is about relationships. It really is about relationships, and relationships includes doing what you say you're going to do, and also bringing things to our attention that maybe we missed or we didn't see.
100%.
Right. So making sure as a subcontractor that you're doing the job you said you're going to do at the cost you said you're going to do it, and if there's anything that needs to be changed or brought to the prime's attention, that you do that. You own when you make a mistake and you fix it.
Yes.
Because no construction project that I've ever seen went flawless.
Never.
and I've been in the industry for a while through FDOT, the Orlando Airport, Orange County Public Schools, have not seen where there was a change order.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not real.
No, own it and fix it.
Yes.
Come with the solution.
Yes.
Especially if you're the problem.
Say that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna say less. All right. No, because we have to be. There's things that we have to be transparent and tell them that they're not hearing because they can't hear it. And I remember working for the Orlando Airport in the Supply Diversity Office under Michelle Tatum, and being able now to talk to them and say, this is what I really couldn't say sometimes, but this is what you need to be doing, or this is what you could have done. Because we want them to be successful. That's why we're here in these roles.
Correct.
That's what we're advocating and fighting. And
So the feedback is to be helpful, not to be hurtful.
right.
And be open to the possibility that maybe there's another way.
Right.
And partner. That relationship is everything. This world is so small.
It is.
We will re-encounter one another.
We will.
Let's not leave sour tastes in anyone's mouth. Let's keep it positive.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So what are some trends that you're seeing in your industry that you're watching, especially when it comes to responding to COVID? Are there any things that your companies had to, like you said, pivot or change since COVID?
I think COVID demonstrated that we could bend and flex and really get a lot accomplished even without being in the office.
Yeah.
And I think for years there was a question mark around whether or not that was sustainable.
Right.
And it happenstance forced us into recognizing it can
Maybe,
work.
yeah.
It can work. And mostly because operations is out in the field and
Right.
they can't really manage the trades from
Right.
their couch, right?
Right.
So it's
No,
like,
they can't.
so should you be at home in your jammies in the meeting while we're out here in this heat? So, I think that was one of the things that we at least learned about ourselves, right? There are certain roles like my own where I'm responsible for the Southeast. So I'm constantly traveling
Right.
and I know I can get my stuff done
Right.
from anywhere.
Right.
But there are other functions that we have now learned and demonstrated it's doable. So
Yeah.
we're not going to be so hard line about something that progressive now.
Wow.
You understand? It's just changed, and it's now an expectation with people coming into any interview. What's your work from home
Right.
policy? People
Yeah.
want to understand what does that look like now,
yeah.
right? For our
Teleworking, how does
protection,
that
we
work
just
with
want to
you?
know.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big thing, and of course the diversity thing, right?
Yeah.
So not just for our internal culture to adjust and recognize some of the unrecognized, population and demographic, but it's becoming a thing as a criteria for selection.
Yeah.
So a lot of our owners, the clients, want to understand, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they don't want window dressing. They want to know what is real.
What's real?
What's actually happening in your business, and what are the metrics, and what's the long-term strategy. There's a different level of tell me what that is, and I don't want to just hear the surface optics
Right.
piece.
'Cause
It's great.
what's out of it?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because gone are the days of walking into a room to do a presentation and it not be a diverse subset of people
Right.
presenting on behalf of your organization. Because the
Or-
people that you're presenting to
Are diverse. Yeah. You're going to go into Orange County Public Schools. You're going to see Jocelyn Harrison Henson sitting at a table, if not her, Aaron Smith.
There you go.
And they're going to want to know where is the minority participation in your proposal.
Correct.
And we don't know them coming in and singing and dancing. We don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to contribute to this project.
You bet.
And then how are you going to grow them in this process of being on this contract with you? So speaking of growth, I know that you just turned 21, right?
I love you.
Yeah, I know.
You're a keeper.
Just shy of 21. What would you say to your 18-year-old self? I mean, honestly, no, but what would you say to your 21-year-old self?
I would probably tell her not to let other people's limitations on who I could be really stick. Because it's interesting, you can dream, and if you share that dream and somebody else doesn't believe, because for their own personal reasons, right?
Because they have limitations.
They have their own limitations
Right.
on who they could probably be, so
Right.
they may end up putting something on you that's not really meant for you.
Right. It
So
doesn't fit.
I think in my younger years, I would maybe take some of that to heart in a different way and maybe second guess myself.
Yeah.
And so I think I would tell her, don't do that anymore. Just take it, receive it, and then still push forward.
Right.
And trust your gut.
Yeah. I think it's because when we're young, we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
We haven't really life hasn't tested us. Sometimes it has. Some of you have lost parents early or gone through some really tragic situations. But I think at 21, we don't know who we are. So it's like somebody saying go left, you're like, go left, but I like right, and then somebody just jump up, be like, but I want to sit down. You're just trying to figure it out. But the core of who you are like you said, it doesn't sit kind of well with. I don't think that that's really good for me. I don't like that. I don't like math. Why do you want me to be a chemist? I really don't like math, and or it's just. I think the important thing is really taking the time to learn what makes you happy, and then fighting for that happiness.
Yes.
Every day fighting for that happiness and being unapologetically happy, just because you want to be happy, because it's your life.
That for me is really success.
Yeah, that's success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned to find my voice and not back down. If I know it's not for me, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Comfortable in your skin.
Yeah.
That comes at 21, right?
Yeah. At 21, you're starting to develop kind of like, wait a minute. Okay, I get that I'm 5'10", big eyes, big nose, big lips, thick hair, and I got this personality I don't know what to do with, right? You learn that about yourself, or whatever it is, you learn it about yourself.
Yep.
But then it's cultivating it so it could be the best person in God's kingdom.
Yes.
That's the part that we struggle with at that age.
For His glory.
For His glory.
Yep.
Right? So I have one more question.
Go for it.
Can you leave our viewers, our women around the world, with a charge? You grow up in a Southern Baptist church, they have a charge to have, and usually have the deacon, he's lining his hymn. But even just in life, you want to have a charge so that people can move forward and kind of know what, just a motivational kind of thing. So for those that don't know what a charge is.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest to anyone watching that you take the driver's seat in your life.
Man, come on.
So whether that's personal or professional, if it's professional and you just have not quite, and you've been allowing somebody else to navigate where you're heading, I would strongly suggest you maybe create a list and identify some of the things that you want to achieve, and then get your strategy. You've got to have a plan of action on how you execute. And if that means you need to find courses or programs or a mentor or someone that can help you grow and develop to continue to push forward, you've got to get the reins on your life in order to really see the outcomes that you are looking for. So I would encourage that as everyone's charge. Get in the driver's seat of your own life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Get in the driver's seat. All right, drive your own car. Figure out what car you like to drive. Okay, what color you want, what style you want. Right. And then be in the driver's seat. Be in control of your destination. Set your GPS according to where you want to go. Oh, I'm about to run off with this analogy. Know that while you're driving your car, you're going to have some challenges. Make sure you have enough gas so you don't run out of gas and be empty.
There will be roadblocks.
Okay, make sure you learn your car and how to drive your car so you're the best driver for your car. Come on, Jesus.
That's it.
You're going to have some dead ends. Set your GPS so that you don't come to a dead end, that you're able to navigate those obstacles on the road. Detour on the roads of life. And you may be going down the road, your GPS saying, no, wait, this is where you're supposed to be. And you're like, no, it's nothing here.
Maybe that's where you're supposed to be.
Maybe that's where you're supposed to be. Yeah. You sit there for a minute and recalculate, and then you get back on the highway of life. Come on now. This one right here, y'all.
I love it.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for just your essence. And you don't know how you're going to save someone's life and motivate someone through this period of time. We get a lot of feedback, and we'll definitely get it to you. But just know that you are valued, and everything you went through in life is to help someone else be where you are and even further. We're here holding the door.
Awesome.
It's like a door of diversity, and we're just here to open it and hold it open. And give them the tips and tools they need to walk through to be successful when they go in.
I love it.
Yeah.
We get the bumps and the bruises. Make room.
It's a lot of bumps and bruises. But you know what? It says to those that are given much, much is required.
Absolutely.
So it's part of the blessing.
It is.
Right?
It is.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about your company, and we never said the name of your company.
Balfour Beatty Construction. Please forgive me. Balfour Beatty Construction, large commercial contractor.
Yeah.
We are global.
Yes.
I support the Southeast from an HR perspective. And
so what's the Southeast?
Southeast is Florida, right? So Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, all the way up to Jacksonville.
Okay, great.
It includes the Atlanta market, Savannah, Raleigh, Charlotte,
wow.
You name it. Yeah, all the way up through. So the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida is my scope of responsibility. And it is a joy to work with those teams. Every team is nuanced differently.
Yes.
No 2 days are the same.
Yes.
So maybe if that's, if problem solving and you're a solutions oriented person, maybe HR is for you.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure because you had said Southeast earlier, and I wanted to make sure sometimes because we've been doing it for so long, we go like, I've got clients, right? But it's one thing to say I'm Southeast, but I want them to know the magnitude, how much you really are responsible for. It's amazing, and it's mind-boggling how much you have on your plate. But you do it.
Somehow.
But
By the grace of God.
But God. All right, so we're going to close out with this. We are going to our next commercial break with our sponsor, The Perfect Touch Weddings and Events, and the owner, Danisha Anthony. We thank them so much for their sponsorship, their leadership in this particular endeavor, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
The Perfect Touch Weddings and Events is proud to present the Perfect Pop-Up Wedding Collection. Do you dream about an easygoing, small wedding? A step above a standard elopement or courthouse wedding, pop-up weddings are budget-friendly, generally spontaneous, and less stressful to plan. Our team will organize all things ceremony. Your pop-up wedding will include a licensed officiant to oversee your ceremony, including when to exchange rings and vows. A florist will provide your personal flowers, including your bridal bouquet, and timeless, beautiful decor to define your altar. A saxophonist will entertain your guests upon arrival to get friends and family in a soulful mood. A beautiful serenade while you walk down the aisle and after your sealed kiss. A photographer will capture still images of your most treasured moments, while the videographer will prepare an emotional highlight film that will tell your love story of your wedding day from start to finish. Your pictures and video will be the closest thing you have to reliving your wedding day. You will toast to forever with champagne and have a sweet, sweet ending with a wedding cake. More importantly, you will have a licensed and insured wedding coordinator from The Perfect Touch Weddings and Events to oversee vendor logistics and the entire experience. Do you happen to need a venue? We can assist with that too. Our all-inclusive pop-up wedding collection allows you to float 11 stories above the city streets in downtown at the Balcony, Orlando. This venue offers your guests a view of Lake Eola and surrounding skylines. You simply will be responsible for what you wear and who you want to be there. Contact us today to schedule a consultation and learn more about our pop-up wedding collection.
All right, so we're back. Thank you again, Danisha Anthony with The Perfect Touch Weddings and Events for being one of our sponsors. So we're back with our next guest, a phenomenal woman who I just had a chance to meet, but I've studied her, and I'm so excited to bring her because this is an industry that I really think a lot more women need to go into, which is being a franchisee of a corporation and owning your own business and getting a piece of that American pie. On your own terms. Come on.
That's right.
So I have right now Williams Haynes. I want to make sure I pause. There's a dramatic pause for the Williams. Okay. All right. So tell us who you are and what company you represent and what services you provide.
Well, my name is Raynette Williams Haynes. I am the Center Director and owner of Mathnasium of Clearmont. What we do is work with students of all ability levels to just help make math make sense for them. So whether they are below level, on level, or above, we create an individualized math learning plan for each student after they come in for a complimentary assessment. All of the instruction is then individualized when they come in. There's no group teaching. The instructors move around and work with each child one-on-one. Plus, we help them with homework. Normally, we start with students who are in first grade and mainly cater through 12th grade. Although we do have college students who are enrolled with us or come for private sessions, as well as adults that are studying for different tests and they need that extra support in math. We also work with some high functioning autistic children, and we accept the Gardner Scholarship. Wow. So that's a big help to parents to help with paying for the children to get some of the things that they need.
Oh, I love that. So how did you get here? How did you get to a place of owning this franchise, or even knowing that you could successfully run this? Like, what? Tell us how we got. I know you from. You grew up in the Winter Park community, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Wildcats.
Well, we about to start an Orlando
don't
rivalry.
start none of that.
We about to start our Orlando rivalry here. I ain't mean to bring it up. So
Okay.
But we all have pride in where we come from. That's what makes us who we are.
Yes, it is.
Right. So in coming to who you are, I want them to understand how you got from that little girl from Winter Park, right? You gotta say it like the Winter Park community, and now all of us, you own a business. Like, how did you transition it? How did you get to a place where you could be there?
I was always that child who loved being around people, talking with others, and helping people. My mom said she thought I was going to be a lawyer because I always spoke up for people.
Right.
I kind of did that a little bit, but without the degree.
Right.
But I ended up going into the educational field. And currently, it's been over 20 years that I have devoted to education. I started out with Orange County Public Schools, taught for many years.
Even ESOL students, right?
Yes, I taught ESOL students at night, mostly elementary during the day. I did all of the before and after school tutoring. I lobbied for education. I was an AR, which is the representative for teachers within the union.
Yep.
So I love doing that as well.
And we thank you. I'm a former teacher of Orange County Public Schools, so I thank you. I did 1 year, but thank you.
All right, 1 year.
Listen, let me tell you real quick about that 1 year. So I was working for corporate America, and I had a baby, so I took a break, right? Okay. So I was home with the baby, Dakota, for 6 months, and I was like, okay, I got to start working. I was like, let me do something easy.
Oh, okay.
And so I was looking for positions, and so my neighbor at the time, she said, well, what degree do you have? And I said, I have a journalism degree. She said, you can teach English. And I was like, okay, yeah, because all I did was I did a lot of writing in those different positions. It was in sales too, but so I got in at the time. This was years ago, before you had to have a teaching certificate in your subject matter area, right?
Okay.
And that was before I think the district got their first D, I think, and then when they got, like, a school got a D or whatever, then they changed it. So, but before then, you could get a temporary teaching certificate, and because you had a college degree in that area. So I taught, but I taught senior English, and then I had Avid, and I was a floater, so I didn't have a classroom.
Oh, okay, they did you wrong.
Man, me in that cart and I was at Olympia High School. Now, my AP, Ava Green, was amazing.
All right, good.
Jenny Gibson Link was pretty good, too. She was good. Avosa, who was there when I first got there, he was great. Kenny Fenoy. It was a group of leadership at the school that was amazing. It's just that the school was growing at a capacity. They just didn't have a room for me. And they couldn't have portables, not in Windermere.
Okay.
So I'm in this cart. I'm trying to go. I got these kids. I got this Windermere clientele mixed with Oro Vista clientele mixed with a couple of other ones. It was like, I said, I don't understand. But Betty, I can't think of, Betty Donaldson was my mentor, but she was also a rep like you. Okay. And she would be like, look, let me tell you what you need to tell them you're going to do and what you ain't going to do. And I was like, thus say the union. I was like, thus say the union.
The union, yes.
So even when it came to, we're supposed to vote one time, and she's like, when the kids leave, we leaving today. I was like, we can leave today. She's like, when the kids leave, we're leaving because you're going to go vote. Because thus say the union. I was like, thus say the union.
That's me. That was me all the way. That's funny.
So you don't know how people like you in that role really helped beginning teachers and made it through that year. If it was not for her, I probably would have had a mental breakdown just from things that had to do. So thank you.
And people used to look at me. We could be in a meeting and a principal may say something, and I'm just thinking, okay. And then I'll see all eyes on me, and I'm like, I know. Excuse me, Mr. or Mrs. Such and Such. You can't do that. That's against our contract. And they're like, we'll talk after the meeting. I'm like, okay.
Well, however you want to do it. When and wherever is fine.
Yes, but it's got to be done.
Thus say the union.
Thus said the union.
So thank you for that. And that's amazing that when you talked about the services that you provide from a first grader to a 12th grade, even college students, and those with special needs, or those that are just highly functioning with autism, I think, and then those parents, that's a lot that you are juggling.
It is.
It's a lot of personalities, a lot of parent personalities. It's a lot of staff. It takes someone with some strong leadership skills in a non-traditional business setting to do, like, actually math tutoring. You know what I mean? So you're one of the few that I know in this field. And I would say more than likely a pioneer. So, like, how does that feel knowing that you're blazing a trail, that you look around? I'm sure when you go to these, the meetings for the franchisees, you're going, it's just me.
The conferences, we were in Canada, I think it was July of 2019, and it's just, you kind of network when you see, well, I network, I talk to everybody.
Right.
But when you see other people or other minorities or other sisters, then we've created bonds. I've had an opportunity to be mentored by a couple of ladies, and also to mentor others.
Right.
I did really have a very strong support system, but people have called me because they've struggled, or they're trying to make a decision as to whether they should actually go ahead and try it at the franchise. And I've been real encouraging to several people, because it can be challenging. Or when you look, there's not a lot of Black or African American women or men.
Right.
But there are a few, so you just have to be there to encourage one another, share your stories, and let them know, look, it can be done.
It can.
Anything worth having is worth working for. You got to work hard.
Man, I like
but
that.
Hey, it's a peace of mind when working for yourself and not having to answer to others in a sense.
Right.
You always have someone you're accountable to.
Absolutely.
But it's been such a blessing to leave the school system, step out in faith, and open Mathnasium, and the growth has been phenomenal.
How long have you owned this this franchise?
Well, I started my journey in 2015.
Okay.
Because the Lord, I kept wanting to leave for years and years and years, and I would get physically, I would feel sick when it was time to go to work. Even though I love the kids, I love teaching, things changed so much in the school system, and I know I needed to change and do something different, but still working with kids. So in 2015, I was at the doctor, and he said, I always tell you, teachers of mine, that you are young enough to do something different. And I'm like, well, I've been looking for a business to start working with kids. And he said, check out Mathnasium. I said, what?
Come on, God.
And I'm like, what's a Mathnasium? He said, just check it out. I checked it out. My daughter and I flew to California after we got a lot of information and read through documents. They gave me territories, and I decided that Clearmont would be the territory for me. But we went to California, met all of the top executives from Mathnasium. They're interviewing you as well. We got to see a center and go in. Wow. They did background checks and everything on us, so they decided that I would be a good candidate with my background in education and everything. And that's when my journey began. I finally left the school system in May, I think, of 2016, signed my contract for Mathnasium in like August. I put it on social media. Then Mathnasium contacted me, the gentleman over me, and said, because I was trying to get my funds together.
Right. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, and he's like, all of these people are now contacting us, and they want your territory. I said, well, I'm going to pray to shut the mouth of the lion.
Come on.
and all of your peers are going to leave you alone.
Right.
And if this is my territory, like the Lord has told me, it's going to work out.
Yes.
And they left him alone. I paid my money. I think it was like August of 2016 and signed the contract. And finally, in 2017, December 2017, I finally opened. It was a long journey.
Yeah.
And it was more work than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But I was determined. I had an excellent family and support system and friends. My pastor was always talking about you can do this and how the Lord's going to help you. So all of that. And it was a done deal. We opened December 18th, 2017.
December 18th. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing is that there's three things you said that stood out to me.
Okay.
One was that you were operating in a place, in a space that you weren't supposed to be, and that's why it was uncomfortable. That's why you didn't like it. That's why you felt sick, because you weren't supposed to be in that space. You were supposed to move to a different space. You trusted God's yes in your life.
Yes, I did.
But God gives you everything you need if you just trust Him. You went to that doctor thinking you was going to see Him about your health, and He gave you the keys you need for your destination.
Gave me the word.
Come on now.
Oh, want to use you.
Come on. I feel like running around this building, honestly. Because who goes to the doctor for them to already have information to give you?
Right.
Like The Amazing Race. You know, that show where you go to the destination, somebody give you something, get you to the next one. You thought.
Right. It was just a checkup.
Come on now.
But He spoke the word.
Come on.
And
But then
gave
you
me
were
the avenue.
obedient.
Obedient.
Because you trusted God's yes over your life. Right? And then there's a thing where you know you needed your village. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So those three things are so critical, because we have women right now who are in education and they feel in the same way you felt. The same way I felt. I was like, oh, I can't do this. I only taught for 1 year. And I was like, no, this ain't this. But I knew I was supposed to still teach.
Right.
So through Women Empowerment Wednesday, I'm still teaching. I knew I wanted to mentor, so I'm still mentoring through my business, 3D Strategic Management. We have purposes and callings over our lives, and sometimes we're not in a space and where God wants us to have to do that work. He wanted you to do the work, just in a different space. But this space you in now, you
I love it.
you ain't got to be in the meeting talking about, excuse me, let me just, I hope you ain't mad about what I say. You go in the meeting, you be like,
Well,
this kind of what it is.
Well, hey, there's been some times my FBC is awesome. So he's like, well, Raynette's going to tell you this or that is in the contract, because one of the challenges I had was when I first opened, I drove Uber. I got my security license when I left the school system, because to pull money to invest in my company, I had to quit teaching. And then they make you wait 3 months to get your money.
Right.
So I had to wait a while. Yes, they made me wait. So I got my security license and was doing that. I drove Uber. Even after I opened, I was driving Uber and substitute teaching to pay my employees.
Right.
So at times, I would have to pay my royalties late. And no franchise really wants that.
Right.
But I read my contract and it says you can pay it late and you have a fee. So at the beginning of the next month, when the money would come in from the parents, then I would pay my royalties. So even when something was said to me about that, I'm like, well, it's in my contract and I'm going to pay my employees or I won't have a business.
That's that attorney stealing you.
Yeah.
That's still an
That's
attorney.
it.
That's still an attorney stealing you.
It's in writing. Show me in writing. So that's so important.
Yeah.
But I still get to teach as far as working with the students who come to the business. Not as much as I used to, but sometimes I'll pop in or and sit on the floor with them and teach, or we'll have a come to Jesus meeting maybe if they're not doing what they need to do in school, or parents will let me know. So we'll have nice little talks and they get to sit with me and I'll help them.
Still nurturing.
But my employees, a lot of them are young and sometimes it's their first job, but they do have to take a test.
Altitude test.
Yes, to even work for me. So a lot of them are dual enrolled. I have retired military colonel working for me, people with business degrees or finance degrees or management. So just, it's a nice plethora of employees working for me, but I get to teach them, well, if you're going to call out, this is the procedure and this is what you have to do, or this is how you handle this type of situation or the other, because a lot of them haven't been here. So if something's going on, I like to talk to them. Right. So it's not so much of I'm writing you up, you're in trouble, you're getting ready to get fired. I use it as a time to constantly teach, tell my stories from the classroom, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Even with the kids in the center, we make it a lot of fun.
Yeah, because they have stressors already. So
They do.
And math is one of those subject matters like science where it doesn't come easy. So if we can make it fun, you can process it.
Right, and we have incentives for the kids. They get to ring a bell and everybody clap for them. Just a lot of things to build them. They have a reward cabinet. They're earning stars for everything they do in the center. They get to meet and talk to a lot of different instructors because it's a team teaching effort. So it's really nice.
They can meet someone who's been in the military. They can meet someone who's owned a business while they're learning math. I think that's very strategic and brilliant of you to have those type people around them because you're mentoring them at the same time.
Correct.
So let's talk about what has been some of your greatest life lessons.
One thing is that if the Lord tells you to do it, you need to listen. Because that same doctor that told me to check out Mathnasium told me where to go and apply to get a small business loan if I needed money. I went to 3 places before I went to where he told me to go. And I got turned down. Finally went to the place that he told me to go. And the next day they called back and they had approved me. So you got to listen to the voice of the Lord.
Yeah.
It won't lead you wrong.
It won't steer you wrong.
Because I always said from the time I wanted to start the journey, because I've done like little tutoring businesses and stuff prior, but I was like, Lord, if it's meant to be, make it plain, work it out. And if it's not, close the door. And that was my prayer consistently throughout the whole process with opening Mathnasium of Clearmont.
I think what you said is powerful is that being able to be in a quiet place, not even just like, when I say quiet, I mean figuratively, but in a quiet place where you can hear the voice of God sending you a message, right? And then being obedient to that message. And so when you become obedient to that message, you're moving in your purpose, and his purpose, and God works in a place of his purpose as far as he's going to get you there, get you the tools you need to be successful because it's his purpose.
It's his perfect purpose for your life.
For your life and for his kingdom.
Right. I think teaching was my training ground to prepare me for opening a Mathnasium and working with so many different levels in the regular school system and getting experience with speaking up for people and talking to parents and working with kids, because now I get to meet so many people from so many different walks of life, kids in private school, home school, out-of-state school, charter school, whatever kind of school. And just to know and understand the struggles that the students are having, the parents are experiencing. And I worked in Title I schools because I felt like I need to make sure I'm there for students who have the most struggle. Right. And that was when I was in the regular classroom, and that's real training ground right there. That's real training ground.
Yeah. But he had to have you in those battles and those situations and those environments so that you can learn grace, and you can learn how to educate, and you can learn how to balance, and you can learn how to work with different types of behaviors and personalities and cultures. He put you there for a reason, in that battle for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go to the next question. Okay. See, there's no such thing as balance, right?
You try it.
Yeah. There's no such thing as balance. Get that out. My women are watching. There's no such thing as balance. But how do you find, and what's your matrix that you use for being a business owner, a wife, and a mother? All equally important.
Well, one thing that's good for me is that the kids are grown. So now they're just grandkids.
Yeah. And grandmother. Right down
And
the question. And
grandmother.
mother and grandmother.
5.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay.
My husband and I together have 6 kids. So when we have a blended family, I
Okay.
had
Yep,
2
truly
and
Brady
he had
bunch.
4.
Yeah.
And now we have 5 grandsons.
Okay.
And one of them has already started at Mathnasium.
I love it.
Yeah.
But he don't get any special treatment because
No, this is. I'd give him a hug. But yeah, they know, and I'll say, "This is my grandbaby right here. Let's get to work.
let's get to work.
Let's get to work."
Because
So,
the world is not going to treat him any differently because he's your grandchild.
exactly.
So,
He's like, "Can I get a free treat?" No,
No, ma'am.
not today. No.
but how are you doing it?
Well,
What tools are you using?
my husband and I both have busy schedules, but we always plan time to do things together. We just came off of I had an 8-day vacation because
Okay.
God has blessed me with an awesome team now, so I can actually step away and know that everything is going to be okay.
Come on.
But even if it's just going to get something to eat together or taking a ride somewhere together or sitting on the couch watching TV.
Right.
We make sure that we get that time together. So usually the evenings or the weekends are the time when we can balance. Just making sure that we constantly communicate because you can really get lost and damage your relationship if not. My husband is very good at understanding that being a businesswoman, that I've got a lot to handle.
Yeah, you do.
And he's very supportive as well. Even when we opened Mathnasium, it was a vanilla shell, which means it was a dirt floor and walls. So we got the contractor, got everything taken care of, but we did all of the painting. I helped him as much as I could. I was there all the time. But this man,
I like how you
God
painted
bless
the
me
wall,
with.
baby. That look real
Yes,
good.
I even had a painting party with friends too. But the flooring, the baseboards, putting all the furniture together, just everything that I need. My family was supportive, but my husband basically did everything that needed to be done in there outside of what our contractor did. So we didn't pay people to paint or lay the flooring or do the baseboards or put the tables together or even my mom was putting chairs together.
Yeah.
So, it was just a blessing because she has always encouraged me and been awesome too. And she went to training with me through this journey, and my daughter started training as well. So it's just really, been a family affair. It's been a blessing. My daughter works for me now.
Wow. Look at that. Come on, legacy building.
And one of the girls who used to be in my Sunday school class when she was young. We go to the same church. So she says she just watched my journey.
Yeah.
And she was reaching out to me and I was reaching out to her. I was going to contact her on Facebook and she had contacted me. I said, Lord, and that was during the pandemic.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
As you've been sitting here talking, I've been taking notes. And the main thing for you consistently is that God kept giving you everything you need.
He gives it.
Everything.
If it's in his
And
will, he supplies
and
it.
it wasn't that you had to go out and get anything too much. It's when I say that, like even your husband, so we know that people look for soulmates, but you need to look for a purpose mate, right? Because we have a purpose in God's kingdom. So we're connected with someone else that has a purpose in God's kingdom, and we are purpose mates for God's glory, right? But even in that, y'all were like-minded, and that he's business-minded, you're business-minded. So, and then he supports your vision, and he supports the mission that God has for you.
He never complains if I'm like, I got to work until 11 o'clock. He's like, get it done, girl. You got to get it done.
Your number one cheerleader.
Yes, he's one of my number one cheerleaders.
Yeah. But that's when you talk about a village, right? You want a village, but you want a village that buys into what God has for you to do. And they step into that role with no complaints, with no hesitations, because they understand how important you are to these kids that are coming through.
Right.
The people that work for you, those parents that entrust you to instill knowledge in their kids so they can be successful.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So, and it's that kid that's in your program that's going to take your class, that's going to grow and be successful. He's getting poured into, nurtured, mentored, who's going to go and do something great.
Exactly.
Right? Because I know you pray over them, right?
I do.
I know your people. I know you pray over them. I know your people. Okay. So I know you pray over
Yes.
them. So you are creating and cultivating a village of people who are going to see you as a business owner. And now they're going to have a seed that I can own a business too.
Exactly.
Because Miss Raynette used to run the math program that I went to, and I was able to do this, and because of her. So you don't know how big this army that you are pouring into and cultivating is going to be in God's kingdom.
Even with my instructors, one wants to work for Nassau, and I was telling him, come on, let's take this selfie, because I'm going to be like, he was my baby first, everybody. This is my Nassau baby. Just different things. I always encourage them.
Yeah.
Some of them have been with me for a couple of years, and it's really, really nice. I even told a child the other day, a couple of kids, that they could one day be instructors. And the little boy said, Miss Raynette, I can't be an instructor. I'm getting tutoring. I said, and you're going to be awesome. So when you're older, you can come take the test to be an instructor. He said, oh, that's right.
A seed planted.
Yes.
And watered.
Yes.
At the same time.
At the same
All right,
time.
so if you could talk to your younger self, your 30-year-old self, what would you say to her?
I can't say that I would really change too much, because I think timing is important. Other people have had that Clearmont territory and have not been successful.
Yeah.
The growth in that area
It's
is
amazing.
booming.
It's
So
booming.
I'm on Hancock, right near Hancock and West Colonial.
Yeah, okay.
And there are over 10 schools. If you just ride Hancock
Right.
and you go off on little side streets, and even on Hancock, there's so many schools.
Right.
It's just an excellent spot that I'm in. Had I tried to open Mathnasium in Clearmont earlier,
Right.
I don't think it would have lined up with what God had for me, because He didn't give me release to even leave the school system
Right.
when I wanted to leave.
Right.
I had no release. I finally got release when I got carpal tunnel and trigger thumb. And I was out for like a year with surgeries.
Right.
And that's when I started reading, because I was home.
Right.
And my daughter, we went to California and everything. I couldn't do anything.
Right.
So I think my timing was correct. I think my journey was pretty good. I don't think I could change too much.
Even for business, maybe not necessarily business, but maybe on a personal level, are there some things that you could say to your younger self on a personal level that you wish that you had just maybe listened to yourself, or when you were going down the path, maybe you should have went left instead of right, knowing the outcome now where you are?
One thing I might have done was more investing for my future and retirement.
Yes.
I think that's so important. And even with young people, they think that they have forever to start investing, or just setting aside $100 a month when
Right.
you're young,
Right.
and letting that money just grow.
Right.
So that's one of the things
That's major.
that I would do.
Yeah, that's major. Yeah.
Because
that's
now
major.
I'm on my third journey to getting out of debt. I've had goals before, gotten out of debt, did something, got out of debt, opened a business. Now I'm working on it for retirement. But constantly, even when I was driving Uber, I was constantly saving.
Right.
Even when I was doing security, I always made sure I'm saving something. But that would be one of the main things I would do.
That's major, because I think that when you're young, you think I got all the rest of my life. I worry about retirement when it's time for me to retire.
Exactly.
And then that's when you go, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you see people who are retired and they're going and working in places, and you know they're not happy working there, but they gotta
Right.
work. You know what I
Right.
mean? So the retirement is closer than you think. Okay?
It is.
It's closer than you think, and the life that you want to live. When you think about the lifestyle that you want to live, when you get to be retired and you have your grandbabies, you're thinking about planning for that now. So
And leaving money for future generations.
that's right. Leaving money and leaving a legacy, like
And a
owning a
legacy.
business.
Yes.
Look at you. All right. So one last thing, and then we're going to close out. Tell me a perk to being your own business person.
If I don't feel like being in the office, I can leave. If I need some sunshine, I can go take a walk in. Clearmont is beautiful.
Yes.
So I like to get out often and take a 20-minute walk. Having the flexibility to still be there for my family, or for my
Yes.
mother if she has an appointment.
Yes.
Being able to go get a massage, which yesterday I was doing self-care.
Yes.
And one of the things I did was went and got a 90-minute massage. And just being able to be in charge of where I'm going in life, how I'm going to save for my future in life, being in charge of my destiny. Yeah. And just being able to be in a place where I won't sow in the lives of others, and being happy is so important. It's not good to go to work when when it makes you feel sick. And I have a lot of friends who are still teaching, and I'm always trying to encourage them that they can step out, but they can't move on my faith.
Right.
They've got to move on their own.
You got to have your own.
You got to
faith.
have your own. Get your own faith.
Mustard seed.
Right. And vision.
Yes. And then you got to be able to hear from God yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Your own faith, not borrowed faith. So thank you so much, Raynette.
It's a pleasure. I'm so excited, and I'm glad you had me here today.
I'm glad that you heard the call to be here from a very close friend of the show, and you came, and so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. So we're going to go into our next sponsorship commercial, and that's with 3D Strategic Management, Inc. We'll be right back. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
3D Strategic Management is a full-service business development firm. The team has over 21 years of experience in project management, event planning, supplier development, public relations, business-focused training, government relations, and youth entrepreneurship programs, just to name a few. The team is qualified to design customized services and solutions. They are strategically developed comprehensive business training workshops. They deliver measurable results and sustainable growth for their clients. The team has managed collectively over 20 large conferences with a total of over 15,000 participants. 3D Strategic Management has been the primary conference coordinator for several events, including the United States Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Program held at Disney in January 9, 2020. Also, they planned a virtual business conference for the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida, just to name a few.
We are back from our sponsorship break with 3D Strategic Management. We are here. Listen, let me tell you how I met this dynamic queen, right? So she was at I didn't meet her at a farmer's market. Our office manager, Michelle, met her at a farmer's market. And so we've been wanting to make sure that as we keep this holistic approach going with empowering you, that we wanted to bring in some women. So, just different women, right? There's a science behind what I do. I promise. Trust me. So, but when I got a chance to hear about her, I researched her, and I listened to one of her segments that she was being interviewed. And I was like, okay, no, I need her on ASAP. I need her on the show, because some of the things that she talked about, it was more than just being someone that can tell you how to dress, right? What she does, there's a science to what she does, there's a passion to what she does, and there's a purpose to what she does. And I'm all for a passion, purpose for God's kingdom, right? So I want to set the stage of who she is kind of to Women Empowerment Wednesday and why she's so important. If you're a woman-owned business and you want to go out and you want to be your best self, you got to have someone like this young lady to empower you to be your best self. Because you can have all the contracts in the world, you can have the family in the world, you can have the business, but if you're not presenting your best self and you don't feel like you are your best self, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So, setting the stage for Anika Jameson. All right, so tell us your company name and how did you get here?
Hello, everyone. I am an image coach. My name is Anika, and I am the proud owner of Damali Style Project. Damali is my middle name.
Oh.
And it is also an acronym for Dress Always to Maintain a Lasting Impression.
I love that. Okay.
Yes. And so I got here, I started my business full-time about 1.5 years ago after I got laid off from being in corporate America for over 6 years. Mm-hmm. And it actually came as a pleasant surprise because at the time it came, I was actually tired of being in corporate America.
Right?
But before doing that, I actually served in the U.S. Navy for 10.5 years.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now I know you was I know that you were a fashionista even in your military uniform. I could see you with your hat cocked to the side just a little bit more than the average person. You probably had your bow tie just puffed a little bit more than it. I mean, let's talk about that.
Yes. It's so interesting because I joined the military out of high school.
Okay.
And even since then, I've always had a love for fashion, but I know that I wanted to do something different in life, have, experience as much as I can. So I ended up joining the military, and I realized that when I was in the military, even though I loved uniforms, there were restrictions.
Yeah.
There were certain boundaries. There were certain things that you couldn't do, right?
Yeah.
Certain hairstyles you couldn't wear. There was certain nail polish you couldn't wear, certain colors, certain cosmetics that you couldn't wear because they had to complement your skin tone. And so for me, that was a little bit challenging because I'm a fashionista by heart, right? And so when I was in uniform, I would actually push the limit. As far as I can go without crossing the line, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Because for me, I felt like even though I was in a uniform that was very structured, that I still wanted to express myself. Yeah. And I felt like, me wearing makeup and having my nails done and making sure my hair was done was an expression, the best version of myself, right? And that's where Damali came from, just always to maintain a lasting impression. So even if you're in uniform, be the best version of yourself. It doesn't mean that has to limit you from expressing yourself. And so once I left the military, I knew that I wanted to continue that. Yeah. And so working in corporate America, it allowed me to see that even though it was, stable and I had a consistent paycheck, I didn't love what I was doing. Yeah. And so when the company that I was working for did a massive layoff, that was a blessing in disguise because I was like, now it's time for me to start my business, not knowing that we were getting ready to go into a pandemic. Right. But when God says it's time, because even during the midst of this pandemic, I have seen God work in miraculous ways, and I am so excited to be here and to be in this position to be able to serve women and also to serve the teens as well, because I do believe that they too need to be empowered.
They really do, because they're getting their influence from social media, which is Instagram, which is, TikTok, which is some of these other ones, but that's not the real world.
Right.
So they're learning how to dress and how they think they should dress and how they should represent themselves based on a 30-second TikTok video, right?
Exactly.
For likes.
Yes.
We're not dressing and we're not grooming our young queens for likes. We're grooming them for a purpose.
Exactly. And a lot of this stuff on social media is filtered.
Yes.
Right? So you go into Instagram, they have all these filters. You take a photo and you can be pink and blue and green.
Right.
And you can have long hair, short hair. Yeah. Same thing with TikTok. All these videos, everything on social media is manipulated.
Right.
So a lot of what you see, that is not the real person, right? It's manipulated in some way, shape, or form. And the thing about presenting yourself is you want to present the real you.
Right.
Right? And it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression.
Wow.
When you stand before someone. And so for me, it's not just making a first impression, it's making a lasting impression. You want when you walk away from that person for you to be memorable. Yeah. For them to say, oh, I remember that young lady that I met at such and such. Yeah. Or I remember that young man that I met at such and such, right?
Right.
And it's because you presented yourself in such a way that it set you aside from everyone else that was in the room.
Come on now. And that's what you're striving for. You're your own person anyway, right?
Yes.
Even if you have a twin, you're not the same.
No.
Right?
Even twins has different DNA.
Yeah, right?
Totally.
So you want to make sure that when you, especially in business and when you are building your brand, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you work in a corporation and you want to grow within that company, that you want to set yourself apart.
Yes.
Even when you walk into a room. And I love that. And I love leaving a lasting impression. Because I know it's been times where I go and I meet someone, I'm like, I can't remember her name, but chick was sharp. Chick had on a red suit with these shoes, and then and how she walked in, and when she talked, I knew she was somebody. I didn't know who she was. Chick had herself together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In my mind, I have an image of Chick having herself together. Chick might not have herself together, okay?
Yes.
I'm just being real transparent. Chick might not, but at least she presented herself that way. And in my memory bank, that's what she is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it can work the opposite too.
It can.
Right? So the person that's the opposite, where they may not have it together, they're also memorable.
Right.
So you have to make the decision how you want to be memorable.
Come on now.
Right? Yeah. So you could be memorable as that chick that had it
right.
together.
Right.
Or be memorable as that chick that did not have it together.
And you don't want to be that.
And you don't want to be her. You
But
don't
see,
want to be that chick.
That's why they're gonna hire you. So we're gonna talk about you more because y'all not gonna be out here looking like y'all throw it away and nobody love you. Okay, so we're gonna get you together. We're gonna keep you together because we have someone here. So let's go into some of our questions. How did you turn an unconventional passion into a career?
Well, like I said, way back when I was in high school, I've always had a love for fashion. And even when I was in the military, I pushed the limits when it came to, what I can do within uniform without, getting a discrepancy. And so I realized that for me, it wasn't just about being a stylist, right? There are a lot of stylists out there. I can go shopping with you, put you in an outfit, you look pretty for the event, and be like, okay, thank you, it was nice working with you. But for me, it was more about leaving an impact, empowering others to be the best version of themselves. And so being where we are in this time, I see that there's a need for it.
It is.
And there's not too many people out there wanting to empower our young people, as well as our even our
women,
older people, our women and men too, because the men need it as well.
Yeah, they do.
Right, they need it as well.
Pull your pants
so,
up.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Wear a belt.
Please.
And so they need it. And so I saw that there was a need, and because this is a passion that I've had from a long time, I wanted to turn it into my career.
Yeah.
And so that's basically how I decided. I was like, you know what? It's not people out there doing what I do.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm the one that's to
space.
step out and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And-
so now I have my own business doing it full time.
So let's talk. We've talked a little bit about, making a lasting impression. But a woman that walks into a room that makes a lasting impression, she feels good about herself. How is fashion important to mental health?
OMG. It is so important to mental health because, I'm sure many of you heard, if you look good, you feel good.
Correct.
And that is so true. It is so true.
It is true.
And so when you, and I know now we're in difficult times and a lot of people are at home or, they may not be working or they're working from home. So it's very comfortable and it's like very relaxed.
Yeah.
And like, oh, no one sees me,
Yeah.
so
Just
I'm
from the
good.
waist up.
Just from the waist
Yeah.
up, right? But you still want to feel good about yourself even when you're limited to your exposure, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about you and it's not about anyone else.
Right.
And people can pick up on your energy when you're not feeling good, right? Sometimes you would walk into a room and you won't even say anything, and someone look at you and they go, "Are you okay?
You okay? What's wrong?
Yeah, what's wrong?" And they could just tell because of your vibe,
Right.
And you don't look like everything is okay,
Right.
And so it really goes back to feeling good about yourself. It's just getting up, getting dressed, combing your hair, something simple, getting out of the pajamas that you slept in the night before, right? So even if you want to be comfortable, put on something else.
Yeah.
Taking a hot shower, just the things that we tend to take for granted or we feel like we only need to do if we're going out. No, do it at home. Do it and stay at home.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know that there's been times even in my life where I'm just like bumming it, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll go somewhere or I'll do something and I'm like, oh, Kim, like this is my brand. And look how you're representing your brand.
Right.
So now my team will tell you I come dressed every day to work.
Yeah.
I think maybe 1 or 2 days in the last year I had on some sweats. And that was one of those days I'm coming in like door closed, ain't nobody gonna see me, I'm gonna thug it out and I'm gonna leave. For the most part, I'm always dressed, ready to meet someone. Behind my desk, I have an extra jacket, an extra pair of heels, a jacket, because I want to make sure that this is my brand.
Right.
So I need to make sure that when I'm dressed, I'm representing my brand because my brand is my legacy for my family. But I think also too, when I get dressed up, I feel powerful.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel like I'm in a position that I'm supposed to be in. And that gives me confidence. And I think that mental health, a lot of times we all have layers of things that we're dealing with in our lives.
Right.
But if you can get up with an attitude of gratitude, one, And then you dress that attitude of gratitude with something you feel good about.
Right.
You set the tone for your day. It's something about, and it's like, okay, y'all, young ladies, because we have millennials watching this stuff. You know, when y'all get dressed and y'all go into the club, y'all be some bad chicks. Nobody can't tell you nothing, right? But it's the same in life. It's the same when you own a business. It's the same when you become a mother. It's the same when you are in any capacity. When you dress good, you're not fazed by little things.
Right. Yeah.
You're not bothered by little things because you're like, I look good today. I'm not gonna let that bother me.
Yeah. And that helps you to be more productive.
It does.
Right? Because you're not thinking about, oh my goodness, if I have to run out to the store, am I looking like who done it and why?
And why? Who shot John and
You
why?
know. So the thing, so if you're at home and you're already doing those things to maintain your mental health, getting up, getting dressed,
Yes.
you know, taking that hot shower, just even meditating, you know, spend some time, some quiet time, you know, put on some soft music and just kind of decompress for about 5-10 minutes. It doesn't take long.
Right.
So doing those things, that can really, really, really help with the way that you feel and how productive you are, you know, throughout your day.
So you talk about this, and it's more for you, it's more of a science, right? Fashion is more of a science too. So what are 3 things that women can do to look and feel their best?
Look and feel their best. I would say first thing, get up and get dressed.
Yes.
Get up and get dressed. Get out of bed. I know it's hard sometimes, especially when you're at home, or especially if you're working from home, right?
Yeah.
And everything is on the phone, or you're allowed to be on a Zoom call where you don't have to show yourself on camera, so you could probably literally work out of bed.
Yes.
But that even makes a slower start for your day. So get up and get dressed. Get up and get dressed. Put on something other than the clothes that you were sleeping in the night before, right? Get up, get dressed. My second tip, I would say, is put some makeup on, right? And I'm not talking about like a whole glam face I have on, right? No, we're not talking about that. That's special occasions. Put on some lip gloss. Yeah. Put on some lipstick, right? A little bit eyeshadow or mascara, depending on how you are. Because just doing that in itself can just brighten your face up, right? Yeah. So you don't have to do a full face. Just put on some lip gloss, some lipstick, you know, and fill in your eyebrows.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a
little
something.
Just a little something, you know, not too much.
Right.
And
make it a routine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take long, because if you get into the routine, you can do this in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it make it a part of your day, right? You get up, you get dressed, and that's part of getting dressed, throwing on some lipstick, throwing on some lip gloss, some mascara, or even just filling in your eyebrows, and just getting that clean face, right? Where you're fresh and you look like you just didn't get up out of bed.
Right.
And the third thing I would say is self-care. Go get your hair done.
Yeah.
You know, go get a manicure. Go get a pedicure. Go get a massage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Treat yourself. I like I said, I understand that we're in the midst of a pandemic and things are maybe tight for some of you, but you can give your own self a manicure.
Right.
Right?
You can get some sugar scrubs from Mimi Sugar Scrubs and more, and you can give yourself a facial or a deep facial. Yeah,
exactly.
Deep yeah.
You know, go to Walmart, Target. There's nail polish there for 99 cents a bottle.
Right.
You know, get a nail kit from the dollar store. So there are things that you can do without having to spend a lot of money that can make you feel better for yourself. So I'm all about self-care. So anything that you can do to feel better about yourself and take care of your body as well, I'm all for it.
Good. So let's talk about these services. What are some services that you provide to help women with the quality of their life?
Okay. Well, some of the services I provide, I am an image coach, and as an image coach, I do workshops. I do workshops for adults and teens, and I also do personal coaching as well. And last but not least, I do personal styling.
Yes.
And the personal styling basically entails doing wardrobe makeovers, doing shopping if you have if you're at a place where you're transitioning in life. You may have lost weight, or you may have just had a baby.
Yes.
And, you know, or you just want to update your wardrobe. You looked in there and you're like, I haven't gone shopping in years,
Right.
and I just need, you know, some fresh new items. I do that as well. Or you have a wardrobe that is a complete mess. You don't even know where to start. You
Right.
look at all those DIY shows and you're like, that's not me.
Can't do it.
Right?
I need help.
That's something I can help you
Right.
do as well. And so, and even if you have a special event coming up, right?
yeah.
There's a certain look that you want, but you're not sure how to get it. I can help you find that look. If you decide that you are going on the vacation of a lifetime.
Ooh, and you gotta be
right?
fabulous
and you
every
have to be,
day.
Yes, right. Your husband is taking
Yes.
you on this anniversary trip, and you're just like, baby,
I wanna
you know,
be
we're gonna do
bussin'
this. Yes,
every day.
You know, yes, I can help you do that.
Yeah.
I can go shopping with you, so you can get the perfect items that you need for your trip. So I have different, you know, packages that I customize,
Yeah.
you know, for whatever you need. So I can help you do all those things.
The one thing I was excited about you coming on the show is because we have young collegiate students who are getting ready to go into the workforce. We even have students that are leaving high school going to college, right?
Yes.
So they need help too, how to look successful on campus, right? And then, so we have that. So we have the collegiate. Then we have women who are going into the workforce after having a family, right? And then we have the women that are starting their own business or who've been in a profession for a long time, but they've been in the trenches and they need to rebrand themselves.
Right.
And they have but in each capacity, it's not about, and a lot of times women think, I can't afford your services. You can't afford not to.
Yeah.
You can't afford not to, because if you think about it from a brand perspective, you're building constantly your brand of who you are and that lasting impression. And you need someone who's a professional. You're not a doctor, so if you need medical attention, you go to a doctor.
Yes.
You're not a mechanic, so if your car is broken, you need your car running right, you go to a mechanic. If you're looking at an image coach, you need to call this young lady right
Yes.
here. Now, you talked about the BMW. that really set me on fire, and I was like, and I loved it. I was like energized when I say something. If I was energized, and so we've had this conversation offline, but let's talk about that whole principle that you have.
Yes. So I came up with a concept called BMW. I know a lot of times you hear your first thing you think is, oh, that's a high-end car. Well, I kind of took that and I decided I wanted to create it and make it my own. So BMW is for the person who is in a place where they have a lot of things in their closet. They're not in a place to go shopping and they need to do something with it. So the B in BMW stands for breaking up your sets.
Okay,
Right.
love it. Breaking up your sets.
Yes, breaking
Writing
up
that
your
down.
sets. So
it.
if you have suits in your closet, whether it's a sports suit, right? Whether it's a professional business suit or something casual, break it up. You don't always have to wear the top with the bottom, right? Switch it up. Like your jackets, if you have a pantsuit, you can wear that jacket over a dress, right? You can wear that pants with a pretty blouse or maybe a pretty sweater, right? That short set that you may have, you can switch out the t-shirts, wear it with a different color, right? And just being creative and not always feeling like, oh, if I bought it like this, I need to wear it like this. Even with those cardigan sets, right? Comes with those two pieces. Wear the cardigan over another camisole or a tank top.
Right.
Wear that tank top under a jacket. And so it helps you to be more creative.
Yeah, I
So
love
the
that.
second thing is mixing up your patterns,
Okay.
right? So now we're in a time where pretty much anything goes. You
Yep.
know, way back when,
mix
everything had to
patterns.
match.
You were
right?
crazy if you did.
You did mix patterns. Everything had to match. If you went red, you wore red head to toe. If you
Yep.
went green head to toe, not anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Just case in point, I have on a green dress, I have on a printed shoe.
Yeah, and I love your shoes.
Break up those, mix up those patterns. You can wear polka dot and stripe now, right? You can wear flowers and gingham.
Yeah.
The only one thing that I would say with that is if you do mix up your patterns, keep them in the same color scheme.
Okay,
So it's
yes.
not like cuckoo crazy.
Right.
So if you do a red and white polka dot, you can do a black and white stripe because
Right.
red, black, and white goes together. Right?
Love
So
it.
if you do like a flowered yellow print, like a daisy sunflower print, and you want to wear like a gingham pants with it, then you do like a blue and white. Because
Okay.
blue, white, and yellow goes
Right,
together.
right.
So you can make sure that the colors coordinate in the patterns when you're mixing them up.
Okay.
And then of course the W is for wear what you got. right?
Right.
Hey,
Love it.
we're in a pandemic.
Right.
And shopping may not be at the top of your list, so wear what you got. Go into your closet,
Love
get
it.
creative.
Love it.
And the thing about it is everything now is on Google. So if you're one of those and you're like, Anika, I don't know where to start. Google it. Go on YouTube, you
Right.
know, and there's so many ideas where you can find out like, okay, how can I incorporate what I already have in my wardrobe and just change it up. And sometimes it's about the accessories.
It is.
Add a scarf,
Yeah.
add a belt, you know, add a nice head wrap. I'm into head wraps now,
Yes.
right? That's like so easy.
Yes.
You have the ones that are already done for
Right,
you.
right.
So you don't have to try to tie it
Figure out
up yourself,
9 different
right?
ways that you can wear it on your
Yes,
head. Yeah.
yeah. So you can do that head wrap. So change up the accessories, do something different, you know, get a new handbag, you know, wear a different handbag that
Yeah.
you traditionally would
Yeah.
wear.
Pop-up accessories.
Yeah,
I love
pop-up
it.
accessories and even your shoes. If you're a traditionalist when it comes to your shoes, maybe try switching it up
Yeah.
and, you know, adding a print with it.
I love it.
Yeah.
BMW.
Yeah, BMW.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm so excited that you were here. We are at our time of closing. If you want to reach her, we'll have her contact information, and you'll see her contact information. I'm so excited that you are here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot of people reaching out to you worldwide because we're in a place where we need to make sure that you're your best self.
Yes.
And in being your best self, you have to know who you are. You need someone like this expertise right here. Because she said gingham, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. I don't know if it's a pants, a shirt. I don't know if it's a color. Like, I don't know. So you need someone who knows what they're talking about. Because I'm a business coach, but I don't know. I'm still working on my style. As a matter of fact, today I was like, she's coming, Kim, pull it together. Make sure you
Yes.
have your stuff together.
Yes.
Know your BMW, know your patterns, do this. So,
And she's absolutely beautiful today. And one of the things I want to add really quick is about the part of being an image coach too. It's not just about dressing the person, but it's also about making sure that you're wearing the things that are right for your body type, right? Making sure that you're wearing colors that complement your skin tone.
Yeah.
Making sure you have the correct undergarments on,
Ooh.
you know, when you wear your items. And so make sure you're wearing the right shoe size. I know it's something that a lot of people don't think about, but that's all part of the role,
Yeah.
expertise, that things that most people don't think about.
Yeah.
And so that's why you need to call me. Yeah.
You know, you must call her. Okay. And so what I want to do just to invest in you and invest in someone, I'm going to pay for 2 consultations. So we'll get some people, we'll send 2 people your way, and we'll pay for their consultations so that they could. I think I actually have one person in particular. We have an intern, Raquel, who's just graduating from FAMU.
Nice.
And she's getting ready to go work for the Dow company. And she was an intern, but I think that I want her to go working for this company, really knowing who she is, and then I want to do one other person.
Yes.
So we can talk offline to find out someone, but I really want to invest in knowing that someone got the services on top of the millions of people who will be watching. But I want to make that investment because I really believe that I've been in this industry long enough to know that women who excel are women who feel good about themselves.
Yes.
The higher you climb in any organization, or in your business, any sorority, fraternity, anything in life, the higher you climb, those that sustain leadership feel good about themselves.
Right.
Yeah, so we want to pour into them. So I want to say thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
You're
you
so
for
beautiful and
having
so
me.
fabulous, inside and out, inside and out.
Grateful. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go into some Women Empowerment Wednesday highlights next, and then we will be right back. Thank you again.
Mimi Sugar Scrub and More was birthed with the compassion to help others in a pandemic who were no longer able to pamper themselves outside of their home. Mimi Sugar Scrub and More specialize in making homemade natural products that keep the skin soft, smooth, and moisturized, all without feeling greasy. The scrub exfoliates, deeply penetrates the skin for a hydration process. The most popular scrubs are the orange vanilla, strawberry body yogurt, lavender hand scrub, and the green tea hand and face scrub. Be sure to follow Mimi Sugar Scrub on Facebook, Instagram, and their website, www.mimisugarscrub and more.
All right, we're back and we're closing out Women Empowerment Wednesday, our April edition. I don't know about y'all, but woo, child, whew, we had a lot of nuggets today. I want to talk about some of the things that I heard that just radiated with me as I was listening to each speaker, and I'm going to go over them. One is listen to God. The other is God's timing and how important it is in your life that you get into a quiet place and you hear from God what He wants you to do, because He's already giving you the tools you need to be successful. He's also giving you the village that you need to be successful. We heard from Raynette where she talked about going to the doctor. She thought she was going to the doctor to see the doctor about her health, and he gave her the next place that she needed to go and the resources that she needed to fund the opportunity. Won't He do it? The other thing is that you can't fight. Whatever is in you that's burning in you to be an entrepreneur or to be in leadership in your organization, all you're doing is prolonging your destiny, you're prolonging your success, you're prolonging your purpose in God's kingdom. Fighting is does anything but make you tired and make you sick. We heard repeatedly how people were tired or sick or just felt like they needed to do something different. If you're fighting against anything that you love to do, you're doing it in the wrong place. I'm going to say that again. If you're fighting with the environment that you're in, but you love those services, the gifts, whatever it is that you're doing it in the wrong place. You need to pivot yourself and do it in a different location. One where maybe you'll be more respected, you'll be more appreciated, you'll be able to grow more. Your imprint would be a greater imprint. I hope that you heard those nuggets today, and I hope that you take them with you. And I want you to share Women Empowerment Wednesday and join the movement, join our YouTube page, and share our videos. We're doing this for you. We want you to be successful. We want you to grow. We want you to create a legacy that will last generations past you. And the way to do that is to share the wealth. So these are now officially our Women Empowerment Wednesday are at no cost. Look at God. And so we want you to be able to continue to grow with us. So we'll see you next month. Okay, so stay tuned. We love you. We're praying for you, and we're going to continue to bring you dynamic women who can help you be successful in whatever it is that you deem is important to you and your family. All right, we'll talk to you later. Be blessed.